Hey everybody, welcome to Basement Movie Room. I'm Chad, and this is not Jared this time. This is my wife, Carolyn. So we decided to do a review. Jared's out of town, so he misses out on this review. But nonetheless, we watched The King of Staten Island, which was a 2020 film directed by Judd Apatow, starring Pete Davidson and Bill Burr. And Marisa Tomei. That's the three actors you'll recognize in this. Some of the other actors in it you'll kind of recognize from different things, but I don't really know their names. They're character actors. But anyway, King of Staten Island is basically about a 24-year-old guy who's basically failed to launch. His dad died in the...
Failed to launch?
Yes, failed to launch. Do you not know what that means?
No, this is a movie that anybody right now, if you are 20 years old to 30 years old, this is a must-see for you. You'd probably completely relate to this movie. And if you're a parent, probably 45 to 55, you also need to watch this movie because you too will relate to this movie.
Anyway, we're in plot description right now, okay? We're not to the part where you're talking about women.
Oh my God.
Anyway, he's a 24-year-old. He still lives at home. His dad
book report
died when he was 7 years old in a fire. His dad was a fireman.
I thought he was 10 years old when his dad
was 7.
died. 10.
You don't remember
facts.
movies. He's 7.
Check your facts, boy.
He was 7. She's not right.
Whatever. Go on with your plot, with your book report.
I have a drink in my hand that's going to get thrown pretty soon here. Anyway, I'm going to have to adjust the audio for that one. Anyway.
How many times are you going to say anyway? 2.
I can edit this. Quit talking. I can edit all
2.
this.
Let's keep track, fans out there. We're at 2.
He still lives at home. His sister is going to college.
Didn't say anyway there. Did you hear that?
His sister is going to college, and he is basically someone who doesn't have any ability to care for himself. He relies on everybody else to care for him. His sister is scared to death to go to college because she doesn't know what he's going to do.
Wait, hold up. I think you described that wrong. Doesn't have the ability. He clearly has the ability to take care for himself. Clearly.
Okay, he's a human being, so clearly he does.
Well, no, there are some human beings who don't. But in his case, there's no reason why he couldn't take care of himself.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. That's fine. He can take care of himself. He just doesn't know how at this point in his life. Because basically his mother's babied him throughout his life. His sister has been there. I swear to God. His sister has been there to support him. And so she's leaving for college, so she's super worried about him. He doesn't really know what he's going to do. So him and his friends are out on this random beach one day, and this little kid comes up, and he's doing tattoos to his friends, and this little kid said he wants a tattoo. So he starts tattooing this it looks like 9-10-year-old kid. He starts tattooing him. The kid runs off, and the next day the kid's dad shows up at the house, and that's played by Bill Burr, the comedian, who you might know from The Mandalorian as well if you don't know him through his comedy career. She doesn't know him, period, so don't expect her to say anything about Bill Burr. But Bill Burr is a great comedian. So Bill Burr shows up at the house super pissed off because he put a little line of a tattoo on his kid. But nonetheless, this all leads to Bill Burr ending up dating his mom. Bill Burr's a firefighter as well, knew his dad somewhat. And
Who was a firefighter?
I already said that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you
You're not paying attention.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, she's not paying attention.
You didn't even say what happened to his dad, did you?
He died in a fire. He's a
pretty
firefighter.
sure
Died in a fire.
You didn't say that either.
He died in a fire. There, it's said now. He wasn't like 9/11. It wasn't 9/11. It was a fire some years later that he died, and he was a hero firefighter, they say, throughout the movie. So Bill Burr gets in a relationship with his mom, and all Pete Davidson's character, whose name is Scott, wants to do is break up his mom and Ray.
Which,
That's
by
Bill
the way,
Burr's character.
I don't feel like the name Scott for him fit him. That didn't really seem to go when I heard his
middle name.
I know what you. We're not talking about you. I mean, did you think that, like, when they said Scott?
No, I thought his name should have been Pete because this is semi-autobiographical about Pete Davidson because his dad was a firefighter as well who died in the fire,
the Scott name, I don't know.
Yeah, it maybe didn't fit.
I didn't think it did.
Nonetheless, his goal throughout the rest of the movie...
Nonetheless counts as anyway. That's more.
She won't shut up. I'm sorry. Anyway! For the rest of the movie, it's basically about Pete. I say half the rest of the movie, Pete Davidson, his character, trying to break his mom and Ray up, Bill Burr up. So he does pretty much everything he can. Everybody seems to like Ray, but then he goes and visits Ray's ex-wife, who tells him all the bad stuff about Ray. That Ray's homeless, lives in the fire station, that he's a degenerate gambler. None of which is actually true. It's kind of a version of the truth. So him and Ray ended up...
I don't know about that. We never really found out if that was actually true.
He does live at the fire station. That's true. He hasn't gotten his own place. But he was a day trader. He wasn't a gambler. So he was doing it with stocks, not like...
Yeah, but I thought he was saying...
He bet on the Jets, though. That was a big mistake of his. He bet on the Jets.
I thought he was saying that more... I don't know. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Anyway, him and Ray get in a big fight. Mom comes in the middle, Marisa Tomei, his mom, comes in the middle of the fight and just basically says she's done with both of them. Kicks Scott out of the house. For the first time in his life, he doesn't have anybody to support him. He has nowhere to live. Ray is like despondent. He's broken up with Marisa Tomei. So the funny thing is Scott ends up going to the firehouse where Ray works and living there, much to Ray's dismay. But Steve Buscemi also works in the firehouse. He's the chief of the firehouse, I believe. And he takes in Scott, and Scott starts working for him. Steve Buscemi really likes Scott, knew his dad as well. So it goes on from there where Ray and Scott end up with a pretty significant, good relationship with each other. And basically they end up back all together at the end. Obviously spoilers, but at the end they're all back together. Ray lets Scott do tattoos on his back, which are god-awful. They're really bad. It's one of the funniest parts of the movie when he shows the tattoos he's been doing on the back. So that's the plot of the movie. Overall, I thought it was...
I mean, actually, really, the movie was a love story.
Well, yeah, he does have a girlfriend throughout the movie.
I mean, it ended
and
that's
the end of the movie, truly, is him and this girl that is in love with him, with Scott.
Yeah, they were hooking up.
Yeah, but she's in love with him, and Scott's too much of a dummy, and too like, I don't know. Scott's got problems. He's a head case basically. He doesn't have the ability to understand relationships. Is what I got out of the movie. I don't know if you got that. He's on antidepressants. He doesn't know how to do anything on his own. He basically has just been coddled his whole life. And he doesn't understand any kind of relationship. His friends go to prison in the movie because he helps them rob a pharmacy, which is, she's a pharmacist, so so that was interesting in that movie. But his friends all go to prison. He doesn't get caught. They don't give him up. Oh, the funniest storyline was the catfishing thing. I thought that was hilarious. You were kind of dozing off in the part, but you remember them talking about the little guy, his little friend, being catfished by this like super hot girl on the phone. Do you remember? You don't remember that part? There's a whole catfishing plot line that comes up at the first of the movie where they're like, "You're totally being catfished." This little bitty dude. He's probably 5 foot tall. He's a tiny little guy, and he's got this online girlfriend. They're like, "Oh, you're being catfished, dude." And then when they're in prison, he goes to visit one of his friends in prison, and that girl is visiting the other guy in prison. It's so funny.
Well, there were a lot of like off the cuff weird things too, though.
Yeah, it's a Judd Apatow.
Because like the restaurant fighting thing,
I
thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, there's a whole subplot of Kevin Corrigan, who you love. Kevin Corrigan, the guy you really like that was in the movie. He plays the restaurant manager. Makes the staff fight for their tips at the end of the night with Hulk hands. So every night, basically, Pete Davidson's character tries to fight for tips and gets his ass knocked out. Basically every night, it's hilarious. The whole movie's freaking hilarious. Pete Davidson's fantastic in it. Everybody's cast really well. Marisa Tomei's fantastic in it.
Oh, she was definitely fan. And I'm not a huge Marisa Tomei fan, but I thought she was excellent in this movie.
And she looks terrible in the movie, to be honest. I mean, she fit
that role. She was supposed
good.
to be this like widow, single mom,
New
working
Jersey,
her butt off
yeah.
to
Staten Island.
attend to
Staten
her family.
Island.
So
Yeah, it's all based in Staten Island, obviously, but yeah, she was great in the role. His sister's really good in the small part she had. Bill Burr's fantastic in it.
And actually, it was a really long movie, but it didn't
2 hours and
seem
15
long
minutes
at all.
No, it went by like that. It's hilarious. I was laughing out loud throughout the whole movie. Really, really funny movie. Pete Davidson's fantastic. It's a shame that they didn't get any award nominations for this because I honestly thought there was a lot of talk that they would, but again, I think it came out too early in the year in 2020. They didn't get any awards nominations for it. But yeah, I thought everybody in it's fantastic. I thought it was well directed. Everybody, I mean, even his friends, the people they cast to play his friends. That line, like Fat Kanye. You remember that line that the security guard? Oh God, I was dying. Like one of his friends is a black guy, and they're out on a basketball court.
Yeah, that part didn't really make sense though. That whole scene.
I think that was to point out how Staten Island's kind of falling apart. So they were out there on a basketball court, and the security guard comes up, and his black friend starts jabbering to the security guard, and he goes, "Shut up, Fat Kanye!" And I just died laughing when he said that. But yeah, it's a great movie. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think you should definitely check it out. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie too. And we don't usually agree on movies, really.
Not often. You really like Ready or Not. I got you to watch Ready or Not, and you really like that.
We're not talking about Ready or Not.
No, we should though. It's great. We watched it again the other night. We can have offshoots in this. So the King of Staten Island, great cast, great hilarious script. Pete Davidson's terrific in the role. He really fits it. And I'm not a big.
But no, I don't think this movie was for every generation.
No, your parents would hate this movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Your parents would hate this movie. I don't think my parents would like it either.
Yeah, like over 60, I'd say not the movie you'd probably like.
Yeah, it's more for, we're both around 40 years old, and we're older than the generation that's being depicted in Scott's generation, this movie. But we understand that generation because we work with that generation, We work with that, they're kind of like the lost generation.
And I don't think like the teenager group, would really like this movie either. I mean, they could watch it, but I don't think they'd really get it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like the kids, like the millennials, that's a funny part of the movie where he goes, when you say millennials, you realize we're millennials, right? That's funny. Great, yeah. So millennials and then the millennial Gen X, like crossover people like me and Carolyn are, this is the movie for them. This is a fantastic movie. You want to rate it first? You want to give your rating? I said,
I was already trying to debate on my rating scale.
Yeah, your rating, you can do whatever scale you want. I do my scale, which is 0.5s to 5.
Okay, you do your
0 to 5 stars. I'm at a 4.5 on this one. It's not a perfect movie. It has a couple problems, but it's a movie you should definitely see if you're within this age group that we talked about. 4.5 stars from me. I really loved it. I would watch it again, honestly. It's hilarious. It's worth watching multiple times. On to you.
See, now with that said, I was going to give it a 4.5 also out of 5 rating scale, but he just said he could watch it again. That made me think, could I watch this movie again? And the answer is no. So I'm going to go with the 4 because I don't think I could sit here and watch it again. I think at that point it would seem like a pretty long movie to me then. It's like a one and done kind of movie.
She rarely watches movies.
It's like a one-hit wonder.
You rarely watch movies again, though. I was shocked the other night when you
talking about how I just watched the movie twice.
Yeah, that's like your favorite movie ever, though. Is the thing. Ready or Not is a fantastic rewatchable movie. I'll give you that. And that's a 4.5.
Yeah, that's a quick movie. I can sit.
It is. It's like an hour and a half.
Not a long movie.
Yeah, I watched a movie tonight, and I'm not gonna say what it is because I'm not reviewing that movie. But it was an hour and a half, and I enjoyed that movie as well because it was actually a pretty quick, fast movie. It was great. So 4.5, 4, even though she should give it 4.5.
But let me also clear my 4. It's not just because I couldn't watch it again. I don't think it's like Oscar worthy. So.
Oh, I think it is.
No, I don't. I mean, maybe individual like actresses. Like I think Marisa Tomei was awesome in it. So I mean, maybe for her individual performance. But over the whole movie, like Best Picture, never.
No, I don't think it's Best Picture. But I think a screenplay. I think it should have got a screenplay nomination, to be honest, because It's witty. It's sharp. Judd Apatow was involved in it.
And really, it's pretty impressive, though, that they could do that long of a movie based on that plot, really.
Yeah, it's like a Judd Apatow. It's a Judd Apatow movie. It's like Funny People, which is a great movie as well. It's a really long movie, but it's hilarious and it's very good. Judd Apatow just does that kind of movie. 40-Year-Old Virgin's like over 2 hours long, is the thing. And that's a Judd Apatow movie. So, you know, he does that. His movies are around 2 hours or so. So
yeah, but it's
not
almost
surprising.
like Seinfeld, a movie about nothing that somehow managed to be over 2 hours long and was pretty good.
And a lot of fun. It's
I
so
wasn't
funny.
bored with the movie at all, ever really. So.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's hilarious.
So that's why it's getting a 4.
4.5. It gets a 4.5. That's where it belongs. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right.
Shut up now.
Thanks for watching Basement Movie Room. We'll see you next time. Jared will probably be back. Maybe we'll have Carolyn back if you guys like her.
Or
We'll
maybe,
see.
if you're really lucky, it'll be both wives.
Yeah, Jared and Ashley. We need you both.
Calling you out, Ashley.
We need a Jared and Ashley review. I will loan you my camera if you do a review.
No, I'm talking all 4 of us.
Yeah, we should all 4 get on here at one
Yeah,
time.
calling you out, Ashley. Calling you out.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
I just feel like everybody's always disappointed in me, and I never live up to anybody's expectations. Hey, thanks for listening to all this. You're one of the few people who treat me, like a person.
You're welcome.